All right, round of applause, Steve Harvey.
Thank y'all very much. Well, thank y'all. Appreciate it. I'm always honored when people ask me to speak anywhere, whether it's the United States or whether it's here. It's all a blessing for me. My life is God's favor and grace. I've just had enough good sense I took advantage of all the grace and favor God has showed me. I just took advantage of it. So being here is a great honor for me. You know, I'm not one of those celebrities that think, oh, y'all lucky to have me. I'm not that guy. It's an honor for me to be here. It's a blessing. Always good to be in the motherland, too. Africa, for me, is like coming home to where I'm from, but I've never been. I don't know if you understand what that's like.
I actually saw an interview where you said that as a black American, to come to South Africa, to come to Botswana, to come to Ghana, and wake up and not be reminded that you are a black person, you said you felt that is such a blessing to come here. Do you want to unpack on that? What's that feeling like?
I mean, you know, look, I live in America.
Is that the punchline?
No. I know you all think America is this one way, but it's very different when you have to face the reality of it. And it's hard to be in a place that doesn't accept you or want you there. It's hard to raise my sons in fear of being pulled over by the police. You know, it's a whole different culture there. But through God's grace and mercy, I mean, look at what he's done for me. You know, how I've managed to rise above all that and become who I am today. You know, it's a blessing. So you can overcome anything. America has great opportunities in it. You know, it's a place where you can flourish, but it comes at a price. It's not free. You know, America comes with conditions. I hear Africans all the time talking about they want to go to America and want to go. Well, there's 1 billion people here. If we could get it together over here, you got 1 billion people. You got enough people to be famous right here.
No.
If you come to America, it's 354 million. Over here is 1 billion. If we get it together, look at me. I mean, I waited this late stage of my career to come here. Y'all trying to go over there.
Okay. No, wait. Where's my microphone? My microphone on. Okay, I want to stop you there. Because let's use you and me as a comparison, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you'll understand why we say maybe you want to go to America. You have had a talk show. I've had a talk show. You've done breakfast radio. I do breakfast radio. You're currently doing breakfast radio, right? You've hosted a game show. I've done the same thing. You've written a book. I've written a book. You're worth $100 million and some odd. I'm not. So maybe that's why I want to go to America.
I'm worth 200 million. Don't mess my money up. No, you're here. No. Listen.
No, but I want to put you on a microphone where we can hear you properly because I feel like that's fake.
But I think the problem you have here is because you won't unify. You've got to unify. I mean, that's all it is. You have value here, but you have these 52 countries on this continent, and everybody got a different money. You got Rand, you got Pula, you got, if y'all could ever turn this continent into one currency, you would become one of the most powerful nations in the world. You've got to make one currency. Now, I've read where Frexham Bank is trying to do this, but that's what you got to do. So then your rand would be worth, if let's just say the whole continent was rand, you'd have value. See, the U.S. dollar is the U.S. dollar. So how can we make more money than you with 354 million and you have 1.2 billion? Because you got 52 different currencies.
And 1,000 different languages. We're not necessarily speaking the same languages, nor have the same cultures, whereas with America, at least you guys are all speaking English, and you black or white.
That ain't the problem.
What's not the problem?
Money talk.
Okay.
Money talk the same language. My money over here the same as it is over there. The money talks.
But it's not for a lack of trying, and I want to go into and be like, I mean, didn't Gaddafi try that? But then look what happened. If you carry on talking like this, there's going to be a red dot here, and then the next thing, Steve is going to be gone. Do you know what I'm saying? We're scared to talk like this because you know what happens. It benefits the West for Africa to not be powerful. And now, I didn't come to talk like that here today. I didn't, but it benefits them. And every time we try stand on our feet, they send in missionaries to come and help us. Meanwhile, they're bringing in nonsense to come and destabilize us. We know we're smarter.
Look, I'm not here. Let me say this. Since I've been here, this is one of the most talent-rich places I've ever traveled to. I don't know of another place more talent-laden than this continent. You are who you are because you are who you are. Listen to me. Black people, Africa and African Americans, we determine everything that is culturally cool. White kids don't try to be black. Black kids don't try to act like white kids. White kids act like black kids. We determine what's cool with your hair. We determine what's cool to wear. We determine what's cool in music. We determine what's cool in fashion. We determine what's cool in dance. All of that. We control the whole culture of the world.
So how do we monetize that? Because you're right.
Because we got to cross the bridge between Africans and African Americans because African Americans have figured a large part of that out. And now when you have like all of these hip hop moguls, you have the Jay-Z's and the Kanye's and the cats that done figured it out how to monetize it. We have to cross the bridge. We have to make Africans and African Americans more in touch. And there are a lot enough white people here who are okay with that could make it happen. Eventually, you're going to have to play the numbers game. Okay, so they come in with the machines to shut you down, but they can't get rid of everybody because then guess what? You have nothing. I'm telling you, man, you way more than you'll ever think you could be. And everybody in the world know it. Everybody coming to Africa to get a piece of this because you have everything. You're the only continent, you ain't got to import nothing. You got your own food, you got your own gas, your own oil, your own petroleum, your own uranium, you got everything.
And yet all of that leaves to go elsewhere and then it's sold back to us at a higher price. We know what you're telling us. We do.
I'm not telling you nothing you don't know.
Yes.
I'm not trying to depress you. I'm trying to encourage you.
No, but I'm depressed now. And I came here to laugh.
Okay, well, let's change the subject then.
No, we're going to carry on. No, Steve. No,
you don't ask me.
No, we're going to come back. I want to unpack all of this, right? Okay. But now here's the thing. I don't know if I'm going to ask, does anybody here not know who Steve Harvey is? Okay, good, because then I was going to have to run through. He was born in Ohio, in Cleveland. He went to Glenville High School. His dad used to make him tough, and his mom powered him spiritually. I love the way that you say that.
My mother was a Sunday school teacher.
So you were at church all the time?
She taught me faith. My mother taught me God, prayer, faith, Jesus. That's in my soul. My father only taught me hard work.
And how to fight.
He never fight. I box. My father taught me how to fight. My father taught me how to be a dog. He never took me to church. He never talked to me about prayer. That was not his job. That was my mother's job. My father's job was to turn me into a man, me and my two brothers. He wanted 3 beasts with his last name. And that's what he made us. And that combination of faith, hard work, his work ethic, this doggedness is the reason I got here today, because that combination of faith and hard work is everything. You know, Bible say faith without works is dead. You can believe all you want, but if you ain't going to hustle and grind, I'm sorry, pimp, you're not going to have nothing. That's not how it works. And so that combination was really the basis of who I am. And anybody can have that. Because, like, you know, when I'm talking to young people, I try to encourage young people to have the mindset. The most important thing is what goes on in here, between your ears. It determines everything. And you got to watch what comes out your mouth. You know, if you say I'm poor, you will be poor. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day who I went to college with. Now, I went to college for like no reason at all. I don't even know why.
You followed Ricardo to college. Was that your friend, Ricardo?
How you know all of this? You got your legs crossed. I said, where you know Ricardo from? Watch yourself, girl.
Ricardo and I go way back. You
watch
don't
yourself.
know. You don't know, Stevie.
That's a full-blown situation there. And I was talking to a buddy of mine. I have a ranch in Georgia. We were fishing. And I've been friends with him 50 years. And he told me the other day, he said, hey, man, do you remember when we were in college? You used to tell me all the time that you was going to be rich. I don't remember that. But he said, you used to always tell me you were going to be rich. Because that's why I tell people, I talk about the mindset. And it's not that I deserve to be rich. It's not that. It's not that God makes me better than anybody else. It's just that God gave me the mindset to accomplish things I say. A man is as he thinketh. That's in your Bible. See, a lot of people go to church and memorize all these scriptures. They don't apply none of them. You be hearing it all the time. A man is as he thinketh. And then you start thinking poor thoughts, and then you wonder why you poor.
But wait, it's easy to speak like that when you are where you are now.
No.
It is true.
No.
How come?
Did you hear what I just told you?
I
told you 50 years ago, I told the dude I was going to be rich.
But wait, when the teacher said to you that you're never going to be good because you stutter, when they said that, you didn't immediately go, oh, yes, I'm going to be rich and I'm going to be Steve Harvey. You kind of took it home with you.
Well, I mean, it hurt me. I was 10. I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Here's this woman who's a school teacher who turned around and told me I'm never going to be nothing because I have a stuttering condition. Have you heard me stutter since we've been up here?
Did I stutter, motherfucker?
Ooh, all right now. Oh, we cussing? Oh, let me know if we cussing now. This is a whole nother show. But like, look, anytime you set a goal or aspiration for yourself, you must understand that there's going to be opposition. You will never set a goal for yourself without opposition. God designed us all to prosper. The devil's number one objective in your life is to rob you of your destiny. That is the devil's one job, to keep you from being what God created you to be. You, as a human being, have the power of decision. We are the only creatures that God created that we have the power of decision. Birds have to fly. Birds have to build a nest. Birds have to lay eggs a certain time of the year. The egg has to hatch a certain time. We can have sex whenever we want to. We ain't even got to build no nest. We ain't got to have no mate. You can just decide, I'm going to sleep with her. It probably ain't going to work out for you, but you can decide that. We get to decide what we want to be. We get to decide how our hair looks. A bird has to have feathers. A fish has to have scales. We get to decide. So if the devil is here to rob you of your destiny, you decide, will you be what God designed you to be, or will you allow the devil to rob you of your destiny?
Okay, so when do you decide that God has chosen comedy for you? Because for most of us here, we didn't even know what comedy was. The first time I saw comedy was on your DVD, The Kings of Comedy, right?
That was your first time?
That was my first time. I went to it was still a tape, yeah.
Well, how old were you?
I think I was in grade 8, grade 9.
Jesus.
And I went to go hire it from the video store.
Jesus, how old am I? She saw The Kings of Comedy when she was 8.
No,
Damn.
grade 8. So 14 years old. But I didn't know it was comedy. And then I put it on. I was like, what are these people doing? Then I took it out of the player, and I went back to the video shop, and I was like, this is rubbish. I said, I want to laugh.
Wait, who are you talking to? Wait, you thought The Kings of Comedy was rubbish?
But that was and then the guy
you know
at
how
the
much
video
money we made off that?
I know. I'm getting to it.
Look, girl, you gonna end this interview. I'm not feeling you no more. You tripping.
Go by. Get out of here. But I promise you, hear me out. So I get it, right? Because I say to the guy at the video shop, I want to laugh. And he said, take this. And then I get home, you guys are standing on stage, you're wearing suits, you're walking up and down, you're talking about the Titanic. You know, we all know that the band of the Titanic couldn't have been black because only the white band carried on playing when the ship was sinking. A black band would have wrapped up the amp and been the hell out of there. You know, this was you.
For a person that didn't like the DVD, you sure memorized it. Damn, did the joke better than me.
But you see, on my second try, when I give it a go and I play it, I'm taken, I'm enthralled. I almost see myself there. I'm like, no, I'm like that with my friends. I crack jokes and people laugh.
Well,
so is this a proper job?
Well, but let me say something. Everybody don't have to see what you see. You know, that's the problem with sharing your dreams. You know the biggest mistake you make with your dreams? If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. If you want to really, really mess up your plan, go tell it to somebody else. Because they're not going to see it the way you see it. Because God places what he has for you in your imagination. That's what your imagination is. It's not hocus pocus. It's I imagined being rich when I was a little boy. I didn't know how. I just imagined it. But God places what he has for you in your imagination. So when you have an imagination, stop thinking that it's this crazy. No. Albert Einstein, I don't know if this is the place for this, but
Hey, you started us with politics.
let me say this. Albert Einstein had a quote. He said, imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. That means everything you see in this world came from somebody's imagination. So when you have something in your imagination, it's God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. Your job is to not let the devil rob you of that destiny. If you have been imagining climbing the corporate ladder, that's because that's what God got for you. If you keep imagining opening your own business, that's because that's what God got for you. If you keep imagining owning a second home, that's what God has for you. If you keep imagining one day to become wealthy, could that be what God has for you? Why would it be in your imagination if it wasn't true? Do you understand? You cannot think an impossible thought. That is impossible. If you think it, it's a possibility. Nobody can think an impossible thought. That's not how this works, man. So you got to quit tripping yourself out. Everything God put in my imagination, I done figured it out. That's what he has for me. God told me, go to Africa and produce the first American hit TV show on the continent of Africa. Everybody told me it'll never work. You can't make TV in Africa. Well, we brought Family Feud to South Africa, the #1 show in South Africa. We took it to Ghana. It was the #1 show in Ghana. Why not? It was in my imagination. See, y'all got to quit letting people trip you out and quit telling people everything you want to do. They not going to see it. You know how many times, you know how many times you've had a great idea and you took it to your family and your friends and they shot it down? Have you all heard this? I don't see how you going to do that. I don't see how that don't make no sense to me. You know why it don't make no sense to them? Because God didn't show it to them. He showed it to you. He put it in your imagination. He didn't put it in their imagination. See, once you learn that, man, you can get on with your life. God got great stuff for you because you keep imagining it, but you keep telling it to people and they shoot it down. You sitting in here with these big dreams and you keep telling it to these little ignorant ass people that's in your life your mom, look, man.
Okay.
When I told my mom I wanted to be a comedian, she shot it down. When I told my brothers I was going to be a comedian, they shot it down. When I told my friends I was going to be on TV, they shot it down. Everybody shot it down.
Except
I've been a comedian and I've been on TV. Because I ignored them. God didn't show it to them. He showed it to me. So that's my suggestion to you.
Okay, but then before you got on stage.
Is this water?
That's yours. Can I open it? You gonna open?
Because this look like tequila.
Mine's vodka.
Okay.
I know you don't drink that much.
No.
Okay. I've got two follow-up questions. One jumps to right now, and then the other one is actually when you started writing for, I think, Jamal, your friend Jamal. He was a comedian, and then you were writing jokes for him, right? So he's got a friend, Jamal. Steve is not a comedian yet, and Jamal goes to do comedy, but Steve doesn't know where he goes. He just writes some jokes, and Jamal is using Steve's jokes to kill, right? How do you discover that Jamal is on stage with your content and shutting rooms down?
Well, I didn't know what he was doing. He was just paying me $10 for a joke. I just wanted the $10. I didn't know what he was doing with them. It didn't really bother me when I found out he was using them at comedy clubs, because he told me he had these little gigs and stuff he was doing. I never asked him. He just knew I was funny. And so he would write a joke and he would bring it to me and go, hey, Steve, what would you say? And I would fix it for him and he'd pay me $10. So one day I was over at his house. I was taking 3 jokes to his house. And this girl was in his house named Gladys. And Gladys said, you the dude that's writing the jokes for Jamal? And I said, yeah. She said, he's the funniest guy at the comedy club. And I went, really? What is that? Because I had never heard of a comedy club. I was 27 years old. I had never heard of a comedy club. And she said, he goes there and he tells these jokes and he wins every Tuesday. And I said, wow. She said, why don't you tell your own jokes? And I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. And so she said, I'm going to pick you up Tuesday, and I'm going to take you to the comedy club. So it's about a 40-minute drive from my house in Cleveland. It was in a place called Cuyahoga Falls. And we drive down, and she said, sign up on the list for next Tuesday. This was October 8th, 1985. So I signed up for the following week. So I'm sitting there, and I'm watching these comedians go on stage, and I'm not laughing at none of it. Because every joke they was telling, I was sitting there thinking of a better way they could have did it. So she was saying, you're not laughing at any of the comedians. I said, because what they should have said was this, that, and the other. So it was 10 acts that night. So 9 acts had went up. And they called the 10th guy, and he wasn't there. He had gotten scared and left. He just had cold feet. And so they said, well, we're going to go to next week's list. Where's Steve Harvey? Steve Harvey, come on up. And so the audience started clapping. So I was eating some chicken wings and drinking a grapefruit juice. And I looked at Gladys and I said, it's a dude in here got the same name I got. She said, you a stupid son of a bitch. That's you. So I went, oh, shit. And so they said, Steve Harvey, come on up. And I ran on stage. I had nothing. And I stood up there and I said, hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all having me, but I'm on next week's show. And so the audience started laughing. And I didn't know what to do. She said, tell your jokes. So I had wrote 4 jokes for Jamal that I hadn't sold to him yet. So I did the 4 jokes. Long story short, they brought us all back up on stage for a clap-off. I won amateur night. They paid me $50. I went to work the next day, October 9th, 1985, and quit my job.
There we go.
And that was it. And since that day, I've done nothing but this. I wanted to quit several times because I became homeless after that. I lost everything I owned chasing this dream, but I just never, quitting was not really an option, even though I wanted to. But since that day, October 9th, 1985, I've done nothing but one thing, and that's tell jokes. That's the basics, the basis of my gift. Even though I've done many things after that, the tree trunk, the roots of everything is comedy. If you give me a TV show, I'm going to make it funny some kind of way because that's my root. If I do a motivational speech, I'm going to use comedy because comedy holds people's attention.
But that's how you revived Family Feud, because when they called you to do Family Feud as the host 15 years, 15 years ago, they gave you free reign. They said, do what you want with it to revive it, right?
Yeah, at first they didn't.
Oh, really? Did they fight you?
No. They thought I was crazy because they had given me these tapes. They called me out to Hollywood and they said, we have a show we want you to do. It was 15 years ago. And I never wanted to be a game show host. And they showed me this clip of Family Feud, and I didn't like it because I didn't like the host and the way he handled it. And so they gave me this tape, and they said, well, why won't you be the host? And I said, look at the tape. The guy, he asked a question. He said, name your favorite pet. And the guy said, a cow. He said, a cow. Let's see if it's up there. And I said, why would I turn around to point to cow when you know good and hell well ain't nobody got no cow as a pet? Who you know got a cow walking around their living room shitting in the floor as a pet? I said, that's the stupidest, and I said this to the producer, that's the stupidest shit you could say. She said, oh my God, you would say that to a contestant? I said, yeah. She said, you can never make a disparaging remark against a contestant. I said, well, you got the wrong man. I can't do the show. I said, because you can't say nothing stupid to me, and then I don't say nothing back. I'm just not going to do that. And they said, well, you can't be the host of the show. And so the one lady who was the executive producer, when I took over Family Feud, it had a rating of a 1.4. Now, in the States, a 1.4 15 years ago is break-even money. You need a 1.4 rating to break even on television. So it was a break-even show. Price is Right was higher than them. Wheel of Fortune was higher than them. And Jeopardy was #1. Those were the three shows that were in front of Family Feud, and our Password was in front. And so then I said, well, I'm not going to do the show if you won't let me do it. So this lady said, give him a chance. So I did it the next day in front of a fake audience and a fake camera crew. But the camera crew was laughing so hard they couldn't even hold the cameras. Because I was just up there doing my thing. And so she said, wow, if we hire you, what we'll do is we'll give you the questions the day before so you can write jokes for all the questions. I said, I don't need to do that. She said, well, how are you going to be funny every show? Because we do 200 shows a year. How are you going to be funny for 200 shows? I said, well, shit, pay me. If you pay me my money, I'll be funny for 800 shows. It's a numbers game. I have one gift. I can make anything funny whenever I want to. I said, and you pay me. And so then they argued back and forth. And then I said, okay, I'm not going to do it. And I'm getting up to walk out the door. And I said, well, I'm not going to sign the check in that for this. And the lady, my manager said, how much does it pay? And I said, don't worry about that. I'm not doing it. Because if you're not going to let me do me, I'm not going to do it. And then they told them, my manager, how much they paid. And I heard them.
You turn
so
around.
I signed that day. And when I took over the show, it was a 1.4. Today, it has a 7-point-some rating. It's the #1 show in the world. It's bigger than Jeopardy, Family Feud, all of them.
Okay, so when you started out, you were shooting 8 episodes a day.
Yeah.
And then you said that's killing you. Then they took it down to 6. And I think ultimately you guys landed up on 4.
We do 4 a day.
4 a day. Is that not difficult to stay on the entire time? What I'm trying to ask is, don't you run out of personality? Because it's new contestants, and they expect the same Steve that they see on TV.
Well, see, my day is longer than that. Because I have the #1 adult contemporary radio station in the United States that's music-driven, the Steve Harvey Morning Show. I talk to 9.5 million people every morning. That's 4 hours. Then I drive to Family Feud. I get in hair and makeup. Well, makeup. I get it. You got the hair part is real quick. This, and that, and then so I do that, and I usually start taping around 12 noon, and I'm done at 8:30. But my morning starts at 4:30, cause I got to work out. I lost over the past year and a half. I lost, what is it in kilos? 16 kilo, 34 pounds, 16 kilos. I lost it. I'm so sexy now. I'm so fly. You really, I know you're looking at me going, this boy is so fly. Yeah. But I had some health issues, and I had to get healthy. So a lot of it, I lost a lot of weight. I started cold plunging a bunch of stuff, and so I had to get in shape, So.
Okay, so how do you keep the personality up, though? Because every single time, it's almost the same. You're there with the jokes, and you're there with your personality. You don't ever drop. How do you do that?
See, imagine this now. The hard part of this show is a family comes on in the morning, and we're going to do 4 shows a day. To win the ultimate prize, the car, and all of the money, you got to win 5 shows in a row. So a family comes on the first show, and let's say they win. That's why the families have to wear the same clothes. I go in the back and I change clothes to make it look like a new day. So 20 minutes later, I come back around the corner in front of the same audience, and they say, ladies and gentlemen, the host of Family Feud, Mr. Steve Harvey. I have to walk out there like it's tomorrow, and I got to have new energy. How? Because they pay me. I keep telling you, what you think about this money? You listen to me. They pay me a lot of money. I'm turning around. I turn that corner smiling because the check that they going to give me on Thursday, it's, listen to me.
So all the bosses in here, Jan, where are you? Where are you? Kaylin, all of you. Vicky, guys, pay us. You will never hear that I'm tired again. Just pay us.
Well, you gotta get, see, you're trying to push me back into that political thing, and I don't want to do that because it will happen. It will happen, but you all are just coming into this new thing. Remember, before 1995, you couldn't even have a discussion about no pay. You understand? We've come into a new thing. It is going to change for you. It will change for you because it is inevitable. And it's better than it was. It still needs improving, but that's like America. You can talk about America and how great it is all you want, but it's got a lot of improving to do. It has a lot of improving to do. A black man can't drive down the street safely once he gets pulled over by the police. We don't know how it's going to go. My sons are here today, 2 of my sons. I got 3 sons. I've had to teach them when they're driving what to do when the police pull them over. I get pulled over by the police in Ghana, Botswana, all the time. Nothing happens. They don't shoot me in Botswana. They don't shoot me in Ghana. They pull me over. I'm going to give you 200 US. You probably won't even give me a ticket. It's a fair exchange, But it's getting better here, It's getting better.
Okay, so a lot of us here are in the TV business, so I want to delve into that a bit. So after you get the host and you do it very well, and now you've got record high numbers and you're breaking records, you're winning Emmys left, right, and center for being the best daytime, from being the best game show host ever, right? When does it happen that they offer you the international rights for Family Feud? Do they offer it to you? Do you take it? And most importantly, when they're offering it to you, didn't you ask yourself, why don't you guys want it? Why are you giving it to me?
Well, they didn't offer me anything.
How did it happen?
See that gentleman right there with that light colored suit on right there? That's my lawyer.
Hey, lawyer.
Let me tell you what happened.
It's handled.
I was in Botswana, which is my adopted home country. I am from Botswana. Nothing comes in front of Botswana for me. No, it is my home. It is where I'm from. I've traced my roots. It's there for me. So make no mistake. And when I was there, I was walking through the division that they have called Botswana TV. And they have a whole compound of television stations and radio stations. And I was looking at it, and man, they have all of this great stuff in place. And I said, man, you all should do more than this. You should do more than that. You should have this and that. And we started talking. But then I said, when I came here, I said, man, I told my lawyer, I called him up one day. This is how it went. I said, I have an idea. I want to do Family Feud in Africa. Make it happen, click. And I hung up. Because I don't have, he makes enough money. I'm not going to sit up here and explain to you how to do your job. He's a brilliant legal mind who went to law school, graduated from Morehouse, all of this. So he's brilliant, right? So I don't have time. I'm a visionary. All I got to do is have the vision. God said, write the vision and make it plain, so that who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time. That's Habakkuk 2:2. You need to memorize some of these scriptures y'all be reading, but you need to apply them. And I just wrote the vision. I'm going to do Family Feud in Africa. I hung the phone up. He went, oh.
Is this before you did Family Feud South Africa?
Yeah, that's how we got here.
Okay.
I said, make a phone call, find somebody, and get it on TV.
So who does he call?
I don't know.
Who did you call?
He called Duncan and Kayleen.
Okay. Then the owners of Rapid Blue.
Rapid Blue.
Yes, those are my TV parents.
Because we found out that they do a lot of TV shows.
Okay.
So he called them.
Okay.
And then we put it together, and we started, and we did the show. Now, Botswana is very different. What we're doing in Botswana is creating a whole culture there, creating a way for Botswana to become a movie and TV industry within itself. And we've providing jobs for young people. Like we'll be taping Family Feud starting on the 12th. Everybody that went to our class and our clinic will have a job on Family Feud for pay. We're paying them.
Oh, this is Botswana Ignite, right?
Huh?
It's Botswana Ignite. It's part of that program
Yes.
you're doing in Botswana.
Yes.
Okay. We're actually going to talk about that in the next session. If you guys
Okay.
want to stick around for that, a few of the guys from Botswana TV will be here as well. Duncan's going to jump on stage. We're going to unpack that entire situation.
Okay, I was talking
what's
about
happening.
I shouldn't have said that.
No, it's fine. I like
Okay,
it.
I'm
Segues are
sorry.
brilliant. You're leading us
I
there.
jumped the gun, my bad.
No, you're good. But now that we're here and you're talking about boss and you just call people and you tell them, do it like this, and you put the phone down. As a leader, how are you? Like, when you're angry, must people avoid you?
I mean, look, I'm a really cool person. Yeah, but just do your job. I do not do excuses. That's not what I do, because I don't give none. I give nobody excuses, so you can't give me none. My sons will tell you that. I don't do excuses. This is what you got to do, and now you got to make that happen. Excuses serve no one except the person providing them. So I don't do excuses. So once I hang the phone up, I'm a guy where I expect it to be done. I sign the front of the check. I don't sign the back. My name on the front of the check. So that comes with something. But I don't ask anybody to do something I can't do. I don't ask my stylist to iron and stuff because I know how to iron. I don't ask the people who tend to my yard, I don't ask them for something. I've cut grass before. I was my own manager. I was my own legal team. I was my own publicist. But I have high expectations. If I'm giving you a check, I want you to do what you say. And it's in your best interest as a young person to excel in whatever position you have. You are practicing greatness.
And you have to practice greatness even at the lowest level. Ain't nobody moving you up unless you show greatness at the lowest level. You can't wait to get there to show me you great, because I'm not going to help you get there. If you don't show me greatness in the mailroom, you will never be on the executive floor. You have got to work and show your excellence at the lowest level. That's the only way to climb. You got to practice being great, man. You got to bust your ass if you want to be great. Let me tell you something. If you think for one moment that success is easy, you can get that out your head right now. It is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Or you just go and try and be successful. It's hard. It's just hard, man. But I got news for you, though. Okay, let me show you. Like I was telling you earlier, God created us, we have a power of choice, right? Okay, so it's hard getting in shape. It's hard to be fit. It's hard to go to the gym. It's hard to eat only good, nutritionist food. It's hard. It's hard to eat kale. Kale is some shit for rabbits. I don't even know. Kale shouldn't even be for humans. You got to have square teeth to eat kale. It's hard, right? But now let me say this. It's hard to be obese. We'll be all right in a second. It's hard to be obese. Being overweight is hard. It's hard to start a business. It's hard to become an entrepreneur. It's hard to own your own company. But I got news for you. It's hard to work a 9 to 5. It's hard, man. It's hard to be the boss, but it's hard to be the employee. That's one of the reasons I had to get into comedy. I'm not a good employee. I'm just not a good employee. Fuck, I'm not cut out for that shit. I'm not your dude. Now, when I was an employee, I did it to the best of my ability, but it's two people born in the hospital every day. It's a person that's born to get a job, and somebody in that hospital is born to give them a job. You get to decide along the way which one you want to be, and I just wanted to be the person that gave out jobs. But if you are going to be successful, it's hard. So I don't want to hear it. You know, young people, look, get it in your mind that life is hard. It's hard with money. It's hard without money. You heard Biggie say, more money, more problems. Yeah, that's true. But at least money give you options. People that don't have money, stop listening to people who don't have money give you advice on money. Money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. People do bad shit for money. But you can be a Christian and have money and do good stuff with money. Money can't buy you happiness. It might not buy you happiness, but it'll park you right in front of Happy's house. You can at least see if he home. And like the other thing about money is, I've learned this. Money is a tool. Money makes all emergencies become mere inconveniences. That's what money is for. Like somebody was asking me one time, why you got so many cars? Because I had one car.
And you used to sleep in it.
And I lived in it. So when that car broke, I had a problem. A guy was in my garage a few years ago, and he said, hey, man, because I put like, all right, this isn't bragging. I just got to tell you this to say, I'm not bragging. I'm just giving it up. I was over this rich guy's house one time, and in his garage, he had marble floors. All his floors were blue marble, and over each one of his cars, he hung a chandelier over each car. He didn't have no bikes in the garage, wasn't no rakes hanging on the wall. His garage looked like a museum. So I said, when I get me some money, that's how my garage gonna look. So my garage has marble floors in it, and I put a chandelier over each car, because I saw a rich dude do it one time. So a dude I grew up with is over my house. He's just a regular guy. I love him. We friends. We've been friends a long time. Man, why you got all these cars? I said, I like that car, so I bought it. He said, man, why you got marble floors? I said, because I told him the story about the rich guy's house. He said, yeah, but what about when your car leak oil? I said, well, I ain't got no cars that leak oil. I don't have no cars that leak oil. My cars, I don't drive my cars like that. He said, well, why you got so many? I said, well, if I go out and he said, what if the car don't start? Then I get in the other one. He said, well, what if that car don't start? Then I get in the other one. He says, suppose all your cars don't start, what you gonna do? I'm gonna go down to the dealership and I'm gonna buy one that works. Because all money does, it creates an option for you. And there's nothing wrong with having it. You can cut a deal with God today. Lord, if you bless me, I will become a blessing. See, because God blesses you really to become a blessing. So if you going to get money and God know you're going to do good stuff with the money, he going to give you money. Now, if you just want money so you can flex, ball out, and show out in front of people, but if you take your money and you help underprivileged people, if you take your money and you change children's lives, if you take your money and you build water wells in Africa, the more you are willing to help people, the more money God will give you to help people.
All right, round of applause for that. We're about to start the next session. I've got 2 more questions for you.
Right.
1, how do you balance then, because you're a comedian at heart and you're on air and radio and you're a host, what I find is the more successful people get, especially comedians, the more successful they get money-wise, they stop being funny and they start being inspirational and motivational. Luckily, you are still all 3. How are you doing that? Because I can tell you now, like, the comedians I love and follow, who they were in the beginning is not who they are now, because they're a bit detached from reality. So they're no longer standing in the commercial line to get to grab a plane, right? They're in their private jets. So that's taking you away from where the content is. So how are you still so in touch, yet I know you don't fly commercial no more?
I flew commercial here. I flew on Emirates.
Oh, okay. First class.
Well, I ain't going to be in the back, so shit. I'm not going in the back. Well, okay, remember at the beginning, I told you my mother was a Sunday school teacher?
Yes.
She used to tell me something when I was a little boy that I didn't understand until I got older. She said, Steve, one day God gonna give you a big house up on the hill. When you get up on that hill, you got to tell other people how to get on the hill too. Okay. You can't have a big house on the hill and don't tell nobody else how to get on the hill. So she embedded that in me. So it has always been my mission, no matter who I am, no matter how far up God take me, I gotta have moments like this. Like this, I'm not getting paid to be here, but I'm in the calling phase of my life. Your career is what you paid for. Your calling is what you made for. I am in the calling phase of my life. I have made a lot of money. I'm doing what God made me for now. God made me to be able to God made me to talk about him, to tell people the truth about how I got here. Not that I was the funniest person. Not that I'm all that in a bag of chips, but by the grace of God, that you can have faith and get to where you want to in life. You don't need money, you need faith. I didn't get to this money because I had money. I got to this because I had faith. When I was homeless and I lived in a car, I made a promise to God. I told God, if he let me make it when I get there, I'm going to tell everybody it was him. So I'm not going to stand on this stage and ever take full credit for me being here, because it's not me. It's God's grace and favor. If you take advantage of grace and favor, you'll be successful. I don't know if you noticed it, but have you ever tried to pat yourself on the back? You ever notice your hand don't go back there? Because it don't belong back there. You can't pat yourself on the back because you ain't supposed to. You're supposed to give credit and honor to the Creator. That's who made me. I had no idea I would be here. You couldn't have told me when I was 18, 27, 33, that one day I would be in Africa speaking free. You couldn't have told me that. I didn't see it. But God would do exceedingly and abundantly over all you can think or ask. And that's what he done for me. He made me something I didn't even think I was going to be. And y'all, next time I'm coming here, this is for pay. We're getting a check for this next one. And y'all need to close off these walls and stuff. I didn't know I was going to be out here talking in the conference center. I'm a star. Got me out here like I got one of them booths selling T-shirts or something. I should have bought some candy or something to sell.
All right, I said one more question, but you...
I'm going to let you do one more question. They ain't running this.
Okay, no, I'm going to do one more question.
Can I tell you something?
Yes?
You really did your homework for this interview. You are one of the smartest people. No, really. You're a smart sister. You got to just keep the faith. Listen, you don't worry about how it is now. They ain't paying y'all. They ain't doing this. They're going to eventually do it all. But you got to stay the faith in order to, because God works in mysterious ways. You don't know how God going to turn this thing around for y'all. You have no idea. Before 1995, y'all ain't have no idea what was going to happen. You understand? But I'll look at y'all now. You just keep doing who you are. Keep being talented. You may be paving the way for the next generation, but they're going to talk about you. They're going to remember who you are, sister, because you're a cold piece of work. Because let me tell you something. I done a lot of interviews. I've been through with this shit. I'm sorry. I've been through with this because I don't like people who don't know me. So how did you get started? Where you from? What year was it? I can't stand people like that. You can Google me and get that information. But for you to have taken the time, you knew Ricardo's name. You knew people that, Jamal, Ida Washington. You remember that? Ida Washington was a girl in college who told me I had no business being in college. She was the first person that recognized I didn't belong in college other than my professors. All of them knew I didn't belong there because I flunked out of school because I'm not a good student. But Ida Washington told me, you have no business being here. You should be on TV somewhere. All right, your last question. What is it?
My last question is more of but you've been doing it throughout our chat. Because what I do pick up from you is that you're a praying man. You pray a lot, and you are of the testimony. But I want to ask you, the last time you got on your knees and you prayed, what were you praying for? What were you asking God for? Or were you just saying thank you? And then collectively in this room, whatever you were praying for, we're going to collectively throw you energy and pray it with you. What were you praying for?
It's different, because I have gratitude prayers. My prayers are different now because I'm in God's hands. I'm one of his favorites. I mean, what God do for me, man, it's like I don't even be tripping because I'm just one of his favorites. When they be on the internet talking about me, talking about my wife, me and my wife done broke up I don't know how many times. Me and my wife, we be at the house going, who the hell they talking about? I came in the house the other day, my wife said, you leaving me again, don't you? I said, yeah, baby, just let me know, can I have my clothes out the closet? We be joking with each other. We don't, how do I put this to you? Can I say it this way?
Go for it.
I have a strong sense of who I am. But my connection to God is crazy. So when I pray, I have a gratitude prayer. See, the more grateful you are, the more God will give you things to be grateful for. It's one of the major principles of success that people overlook is gratitude. Gratitude, see, you have to change your focus. You keep telling God what you ain't got and what you want, but you never thank him for what you have. The bulk of your prayer should be for what he's done for you and what he's given you and provided for you. Because what he's done for you is amazing. But if you never take the ample amount of time to thank him for that, why would he give you more? Because you're just so miserable with what he's done. You're so busy on the ask that you forget the giving part. Look, man, I don't know if you really noticed this or not, but you didn't wake up today on your own. You do not have the ability to wake yourself up. I don't know who you think you are, but you do not have the ability to take your next breath. You don't. That could end at any moment. We are still breathing and we wake up by the grace of God. You know, everybody in here knows somebody didn't wake up before. You done got the call that everybody done got the call that a loved one is gone. They wanted their next breath. So you have to spend the bulk of your prayer in gratitude. What I ask for mostly from God is just to stay in the presence. Because I used to have anxiety. I don't have anxiety no more. You know how you get anxiety? Anxiety is concern of the past and the future, and you can't do nothing about neither one of them. And that creates anxiety. You so worried about what they said, about what you did. I don't give a damn what you say about me on the internet. My life has a resume. All my resume tells you is where I've been and what I did. It ain't got nothing to do with where God taking me. Nothing. So when somebody's repeating my resume, this is his third marriage. Well, yeah, it's my third marriage. I don't see how because I know how to get somebody. That's why. I've been married 3 times because I got game and conversation, and I can get a woman. That's why I got 3 wives, and that's why your monkey ass ain't ever been married before, because you can't get nobody. So I don't let he on his third marriage. Yeah. What you want me to do? I like women.
And they like you, Steve.
I love women. I think women are the greatest invention. There's nothing greater than women.
You said all the money in the world has got no purpose if there weren't women in the world. I heard you say that in an interview one day.
That's a quote.
Yes, Confucius, Aristotle.
No, Aristotle Onassis.
There we go.
Said if women did not exist, all the money in the world would have no meaning.
Hey, ladies.
Because it's really true. What would you need money for? If I didn't have Marjorie, why do I need money? I don't need no diamonds. I don't need no big-ass house. All I need is a refrigerator. I need a flat screen TV with sports on it, and I just need a house. Marjorie likes rings and swimming pools, and she wants the grandkids to come over and play at the house. You know, like, I don't really give a damn if they come over. You know, being a grandfather, you not hear people, oh, I love being a grandparent. No, my son right here, this is my middle son. He has 5 kids. I love him for about an hour and a half. And then y'all go home. Go home.
But now wait, speaking of diamonds, you know they found the second biggest diamond in Botswana just the other day. Okay, so now we're going to go into the Botswana chat of the conversation.
I saw that diamond.
I just said, big as your head, Steve.
What is it? What? I mean, damn. What? You found a diamond the size of my head. I saw that. Hey, how many carats was that? 2,600?
I have no idea. It was, put your fists together. Both your fists. Both your fists. Yeah, like that. It was as big as that.
If y'all would give me that diamond right there, just that one diamond, I come here free till I die.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that wild hour with Mr. Steve Harvey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.